Yep, that's a Gulfstream G550 Pegasus behind me. Unfortunately, it's not ours, and it isn't Rhett's either. But he does get paid to travel around the globe and detail jets and supercars for celebrities and billionaires. Today, we had the opportunity to talk with him about the auto detailing industry, and we were shocked by what we heard. And no, this isn't clickbait. It turns out the auto detailing industry isn't quite what it seems.
If you're looking at the automotive side and you're like, man, my insurance is going to cover it, insurance is not going to cover you working on a one-of-one whatever from the 1930s and the 40s.
Right.
At the end of the day, they're going to figure out some type of way probably to not pay for it. Yeah. Any business out there that says, or detailing business that says that they can get it done and it will be brand new, like new, can't promise that.
Yeah.
Can't promise that. You can go out and say, I'm going to base my pricing off of ExquisiteMAD. Well, you can't because it's proprietary, but it's protected. But even if you did, it wouldn't work because you'd be trying to figure it out. Your margins wouldn't be the same. Yeah. Your time wouldn't be the same. Right. The amount of man hours that goes into it wouldn't be the same.
And these aren't trade secrets in the industry. These are trade secrets that you, ExquisiteMAD, has developed over time as far as doing this effectively.
You have to. Otherwise, you're not in business. You're going to go broke. If you don't know your numbers, you're going to go broke. And I said, man, that's a lot of money to ask for. And he asked me something. He said, Red, do you want to be broke? Or you want to have some money?
So can you summarize for our viewers what you do and who you cater to with this business?
Oh, we cater, so the services that are offered is all ranges of auto detailing, basic auto detailing, all the way up to luxury and classic vehicles, to ceramic coatings, to fleet washing and commercial fleet washing. We have a marine detailing side where we take care of everything from small boats to large yachts and large craft, 80, 100, and 150-foot yachts. Besides that, we also have our aviation division, which clearly you can see right here. We deal with everything from small Cessna 172s all the way up to 777s. And we work with everyone with the aviation side and the automotive side, we work with everyone from private individuals that just drive daily drivers and daily cars to wealthy, affluent private individuals who have exotics and classics and also who have aircraft like this where they want some privacy, with it. So.
And are you servicing just domestic clients or do you work internationally as well?
Work internationally across all borders. We have the metal polishing division where we take care of logistics companies, oil companies such as Freeport Oil Company, which is a licensee of Shell Global in the Bahamas. We have an ongoing thing with them. Besides that, we operate nationwide, offer services all over the place, which is verifiable on our YouTube channel and verifiable through all of our social media. Travel from state to state, provide services on site, regardless if it's a trucking dealership or a private individual that owns an Airstream or a horse trailer or whatnot. We completely polish and refinish all that metal that is on those units and polish that. So besides that, we also have the RV and motor coach side. We have movie and film car sourcing and detailing. Movie credits and also projects that we worked on is from Amazon Prime, Daisy Jones and the Six. Okay. Episode 8 actually sourced and detailed on set a 1977 Ferrari GTB, which is featured in that. Besides that, when it comes to aviation, we deal with everyone from private individuals all the way to sports teams and defense contractors. So we have videos on that as well. So running all the way back through COVID-19, whenever you've seen the COVID sanitizations on the inside of aircraft, we still provide those services.
Sure.
For medical transport, anything like that, we still do that. And just really thorough cleaning. If someone has allergies and whatnot, we can get it as clean as possible. Make a really good improvement.
Right.
We also offer fire truck polishing as well, auto diamond plate and auto metal plate, and also public perception and improves public perception for police, fire departments, and also for cities, municipalities, and government entities. So that's something else as well. So we do have access to a lot of different airports. We operate and offer services across pretty much any publicly funded airport that receives federal funds.
Okay.
We can pretty much go there and supply those services there. Are there some limitations? Yes. But just give us a call We'll get you figured out. We'll get you lined up.
Yeah.
And get you scheduled.
How did you get the skills to work on, premium products, unique materials, things like that? Where did you start? And then how did you build up that skill set over time to be able to address all of these different situations?
When I would see an exotic car going down the road, and I seen it pull over in a parking lot, I was that person to get out of the car, walk into a store or walk into somewhere, wait on that person to get done with what they were doing, and then approach them and say, "Hey, is this your car?"
Yeah.
And be like, "Hey, this is what it is."
Yeah.
And this is before the business was even a business.
Interesting.
This was before the business was a business.
Is that how you acquired your first client? Was just cold approaching people when you saw that car?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's exactly it. And one of my friends and one of my mentors that are here, actually seen him and his brother, and he's been very, very kind to me.
Okay.
And he's given me a lot of insight, among other people, a lot of other people that God put in my life. But he had a Lamborghini Encounter.
Okay.
And he was parked in front of a Mexican restaurant at the mall that's here. And instead of me, now I was already working for the whole day. I was filthy. I was sweaty. Now I wasn't operating out the car at this point. I already, I had grown quite a bit, and I was doing airplanes at this point, and in the aviation side, and grew the business to that. But when I walked up, when I parked and I walked up, he was sitting outside on the patio, and at this point, I could kind of figure out who has it.
Sure.
Who has it? And who's putting it on?
Okay.
Okay. So it was just, God gave me that intuition to be able to tell. So immediately walked up to him, figured him out, walked up to him. His car's parked right here. He's sitting right here.
Okay.
So it's just, a walkway right there. So walk in, say, "Hey." I'm trying to say, because he was just drinking a beer. I didn't know that his brother sat there. And I just said, "Hey, I'm not interested in detailing your car. I would love to.
Yeah.
But can you give me just 5-10 minutes to give me some insight on how I can get to where you're at? Maybe tell you what I have going on, and if you give me the opportunity, I would love to be able to work for you.
Sure.
Do some work." Said yes and out. And that was when it kind of kicked off. Wound up doing his car and stuff, but now he's actually one of my mentors, so he's out there. So that is the approach. So me taking the approach, building the business, I think when people look at YouTube and they look at the portfolio and they see everything, they only see one side. They don't see the groundwork. Sure. They don't see the ground level work. They don't see that.
So when you met him at the restaurant there from his car, what sticks out in your mind from that first meeting?
The number one thing that he did, he offered me alcohol. He wanted to see if I wanted to drink alcohol, and I said no.
Okay.
And that was when conversation opened up.
Interesting.
But I already knew from prior, from building the business prior, you don't drink booze and you don't drink dealing with in business.
Sure.
You don't do that.
Yeah.
You don't do that. So that's a big mistake. It's a big mistake. So sober mind, which I don't drink anyways.
Sure.
Don't smoke, don't do drugs, anything else. Can't. We're dealing with this. Cannot. But from there, introduced who I know now as his brother and whatnot. But from there, we exchanged information, and then from there, built up good friendship.
Yeah.
Good friendship and good mentorship. So
you seem like you have a very outgoing personality. Is that something that you developed over time? I think a lot of people struggle with the cold calling, the cold approach, things like that. Is that something that can be built for people that are maybe like more introverted and don't feel comfortable with that?
if you want it, okay. If you want it.
Sure.
If you want it. But something I didn't know before I knew, because you don't know what you don't know, right?
Yeah.
So you have to understand that there's a sales process. And depending on what industry that you're in, regardless if it's automotive, aviation, or like the logistics side of the business that we have, or the marine side, dealing with yachts and dealing with boats and whatnot, the sales process, the steps are there, but the approach may be a little bit different, and the process may be longer or shorter.
Okay.
Longer money, longer process. Smaller money, shorter process.
Sure.
But you have to weigh out as far as how bad do you want it? Is it worth it? And that's something that even with running a business and looking at, is it worth it? Is it worth my time? Because the same amount of time that you spend trying to chase $200 you can be chasing $5,000. It's just $10,000.
Yeah. Can you give us one story or situation that was a crazy job that you got into, and then we can talk more about the details of your business?
Besides working in movies and film and whatnot, that's more the experience. What's more the experience? But I think in detailing some of these exotic, some of the one-of-a-kind vehicles, some of the stuff that's just oddball cars, right? Like a SLR McLaren.
Okay.
Or something like a Bugatti.
Sure.
Something like that. That's the stuff that you have to look at and you step back and you say, whoa, yes, this is pretty awesome.
Is there a car that you've done that's like a one-of-one that you've been involved in?
Yeah, there's quite a few. So one of the ones that I deal with that's on a website that has elephant ivory steering wheel, things like that, is a 1936 Mercedes-Benz 540K Special Roadster.
Okay.
It's an $11.8 million car. It has platinum trim. Wow. It has things that no one would ever even think about, but there's only 3 of them in existence in the world.
Wow.
Yeah. So dealing with something like that, yeah, it's totally awesome. But even dealing with some of the old vehicles like original Woodies, things like that, that's really cool. But one of the other vehicles that I had the good time just seeing and dealing with is a one-of-one 1912 or 1915 Harley Davidson V-twin.
Oh, interesting.
And it is all original. And it's never been cranked up, but it's original nickel. So it's not just for aesthetics when it comes. So that's the reason why it's specialty services, because the same thing with detailing. Detailing is detailing. Preservation, even dealing with automobiles is preservation. It's a completely different approach. You're preserving what's there. You're using different methods, different processes, different workflows in order to preserve that stuff.
Right.
So you're not removing any materials. You're not using anything that's going to possibly harm it in any way.
Sure.
Right? You're not taking any chances because it can't be replaced. Some of these things that you're dealing with is priceless.
And speaking of on paper, have you guaranteed that every single thing meets your standard when you're doing a detail? Have you developed like systems, like written down procedures, or is it a field that you've just developed over time?
Close, but it is a procedure. It is a workflow with it. But that's kind of a loaded question, because when providing a service and when detailing or when providing it in specialty services like metal polishing, for instance, regardless of what we're touching,
sure.
Okay, we never guarantee that anything is going to be 100% new or look like new,
sure.
or be flawless, because nothing in this world will ever be flawless. Anyone or any business out there that says, or detailing business that says that they can get it done and it will be brand new, like new, can't promise that.
Yeah.
Can't promise that. So it's working within those parameters and laying it out and being straightforward and being transparent. And the best way to do, and the only way to do that is in writing in service agreements, where everything is transparent, where every expectation is laid out, everything that will not be done will be laid out, everything.
Yeah.
Everything. So that's the business side. And that's the side that a lot of people don't talk about when it comes to detailing, or service businesses, from what I found out. Just from reading on Reddit and reading on Corey and a lot of questions that people have, they're on there posting up the same questions over and over again. Am I charging enough? Did I do enough? Does it look good enough? Oh, they wanted more, but I told them this, but they want a little bit more. We could have had a service agreement, and that would have covered everything. Yeah, because it's all transparent. It's right there, right? And this is what you're getting. This is what you can expect.
Can you tell us about some of the unique products and methods that you develop that are industry leading and unique to the type of work that you do?
One of the things, it's not so much the products. It is the products in some aspects, but it's the workflow and the processes. So for instance, ExquisiteMAD is the only business that provides services that it does, and also provides on-site. So there are other businesses can market and put on a website that they, go everywhere, but we truly have the proof in the portfolio to prove that it's international.
Okay.
We're in the Bahamas. We've performed work for Freeport Oil Company, which is a licensee of Shell Global.
Okay.
So taking care of stuff like that. So
how far have you gone? How far will you go for a client?
Worldwide.
Worldwide.
We have global reach. Worldwide.
Okay.
So any country, anywhere, it doesn't matter where. So we're able to go there if there's a demand for it. So Middle East, Europe, Asia, and the Caribbean, South America, anywhere where it's safe to go.
Yeah.
We'll go. And we have, going down to the Bahamas, one or 2 day job. We still are providing products, and they're also buying products from ExquisiteMAD as far as our wash systems, soaps that are developed that are non-corrosive to aluminum, things like that, on the tankers that we had polished out. So there's ongoing support, and also even having some of the decals made for their tanker trailers, having those made and having those proved, having those designed, having them shipped, and then they have them installed there. Sure. So there's aspects of that, but then when you're looking at pricing, ExquisiteMAD and the way that things were developed, and this is on the website, it's transparent for people to know, but It's proprietary. So circling back to what we covered with people trying to figure out pricing and how could they figure that out, it goes back to workflow. It goes back to what products are being used. It goes back to what processes and methods are they using to come up with that. So over time and over years, one of my other friends and mentors, he basically sat down with me. He had worked with sports teams. He works for record labels, some of the biggest ones. He still does. And he lives here, and they're very close. But what we did, we sat down and figured out over time, over years, how the pricing would work on something like this, because you just can't come up to, it's this much.
Sure.
What we did, we figured out over time, and how can I say this? Figured out a baseline, and what we used was a citation, because citations was one of the main things that we were working on at the time, right?
Okay.
Supplying services for. But then dealing with the larger ones, dealing with smaller aircraft, everything in between, and figured out an actual pricing for the exact services and the exact methods using the exact, because we know exactly how much time something like this would take to completely detail. There's no if and buts about it. There's no guesswork. We know for a fact that it's 12.5 thousand. It'll take 3 days to do.
Okay.
3 actual days.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay. And with various people, if you put more people, we put more people in there, it's still the same amount of real time, but you just divide that up over man hours, and then you can kind of squeeze it into 1 day or 2 days, which we would never try to do this in 1 day. It would have to be done on the 2 days. The pricing is according to wingspan.
Okay.
So the surface area of each aircraft can only vary so much. So what we figured out was that using the processes and the methods that were developed and being used to detail one of these, and when I say detailing, I say that lightly, I mean interior, leather cleaning, conditioning, cleaning all the tray tables, conditioning all the wood, everything, going through the galleys, everything, right? Sure. Knowing exactly how much product's being used, how many ounces of product are being used, how long does it take to actually work on each individual item, figured out all that, then came out here, figured out, okay, how much time does it take to, how many ounces of product on average is used for this size aircraft and this much surface area and this much square footage, inside how much cubic feet, because we're doing everything from the ceilings all the way down to the floors.
Yeah.
So all that's accounted for. So when looking at the prices, that's what makes it really, truly proprietary, and that's what's protected, because there's a lot of trade secrets in there about how it's done and the processes and methods. So it's not just a one-size-fits-all. Well, someone else, like let's say you can go out and say, I'm going to base my pricing off of ExquisiteMAD. Well, you can't, because it's proprietary, but it's protected. But even if you did, it wouldn't work, because you'd be trying to figure it out. Your margins wouldn't be the same. Yeah. Your time wouldn't be the same. Right. The amount of man hours that goes into it wouldn't be the same.
And these aren't trade secrets in the industry. These are trade secrets that you, ExquisiteMAD, has developed over time as far as doing this effectively.
Right. Yeah. And developing it over the business and over time. Yeah. Because now having people working, knowing exactly what the workflow is for each individual person being assigned to a certain area, you have to know all that. Yeah. So the same thing is when dealing with tankers and dealing with large fleets and being having the logistics behind that, making it happen. We know exactly how much everything is. So when people call, and when we're dealing with clients and we're dealing with customers, we know for a fact it's exactly how much it is.
Sure.
When they call, that's the price.
Right. You're not guessing at it. You're like, this will get done and the way you want it done for this price.
Exactly. This is it. And the prices don't include mileage rate per diem or airfare, travel, whatnot, which is standard in any type of business. Sure. So, but that's extra. But as far as the actual cost of the actual services, they're listed. And we do adjust them according to CPI and also inflation and whatnot. And we do that every so many months. So that could be expected. So yeah. So that kind of, and it's the same concept across the board. So we're dealing with a fleet of vehicles, whether they're movie cars, and we're dealing with an entire fleet and it's a lot full of 30 of them, and they just want to wash. Okay, well, we know exactly how much it is because we know how much time it's going to take. You have to. Otherwise, you're not in business. You're going to go broke. Yeah. If you don't know your numbers, you're going to go broke.
For sure.
I think one of the other things is just like when dealing with boats, when dealing with yachts, the workflows are different with that, and the services that are offered are different as well. So when people are looking at getting boat detailing, yes, we do offer the run-of-the-mill details. Let's say wash a boat, wax it, go over it. Fine, sure. That's great. But the other things that are offered, that specialty, is dealing with teak wood. Knows how to deal with teak. The bright work, all over the yacht, all over the boat. It could be the doors, the door frames, walking into the cabin of a yacht. Have you been on a yacht? Okay, so when you're going over from the back deck and you're walking in, most of the time they have metal going around. How do you polish that?
Yeah.
Then actually going inside the yacht. So we actually provide service inside the yacht. So we can do carpet shampooing. We also steam clean. Then on top of that, we'll actually ceramic coat, shower glass doors, stuff like that. So and also polish out all the wood. So on the inside. Same thing when it comes over to aviation.
Yeah.
So that's the specialty service side of it that is outside the realm of just normal detailing. When people think about detailing, they're thinking soap, water, buffer, polish, wax. They're not thinking about anything else.
Right.
So
you're doing everything that people aren't thinking. Can you tell us, for our viewers that are watching, like what is the pricing run the gamut of, from a supercar to a jet to a tanker, things that they could see?
Airplanes go from $1,000 up.
Okay, wow.
$1,000 up. So, and then as far as tankers, we're working anywhere from bobtails, $34.99, all the way from tanker trailers, $5,000, $6,000, all the way up.
Okay.
But we're able to produce that with a turnaround of within days, 3 days for tanker trailers, 2 to 3 days, and then for bobtails we can do them in as little as 1 day.
Okay.
So we allot for 2 days on bobtails, but that's our typical turnaround. When dealing with cars and whatnot, we're dealing with our basic packages that runs up into the low hundreds.
Sure.
Then when we get into the exotics, for the specialty services is $1,400, typically $1,400 and up.
Okay.
But one of the things that we do offer, even for Airstream polishing, horse trailer polishing, Cybertruck polishing, which we polish out Cybertrucks, got a project coming up in Baton Rouge for that. Coming up here pretty soon.
Like to a mirror finish?
To a mirror finish.
That's cool. Yeah.
Then besides that, pontoon boats, etc. The prices are listed on the site, and it goes, for instance, for Airstream or vintage trailers, Spartans, Clippers, it goes by the linear foot as far as the pricing.
Yeah.
Okay, the pricing. But we have it figured out for the square footage and all that kind of good stuff. But
sure,
it's very, very easy to understand. It just goes by, hey, this is how long my trailer is, this is how long my unit is, this is how much it is.
What do people get wrong about pricing their services? Is offering discounts to people a good way to build your business long term?
No. Because you're in business to make money. Business is to make money.
Sure.
Going back to, if you know your numbers and you know your cost and you know your overhead and you know if you're looking at an auto detailing business, for instance.
Sure.
If you're looking at your cost of chemicals, products, customer acquisition, you're looking at your cost of equipment, generators, pressure washers, polishers, polishing machines, your pads, your microfiber towels. What is the increases? How much is that increasing time and time again? Like as far as time going on with inflation, devaluing of the dollar, like right now it's 10.8% less than what it was in January, right?
Right.
So if you're not keeping track of that, you don't know how much money you're actually making and what your margins are. So if you're running on a 30% profit margin, gross profit margin, before paying the business, before paying taxes, and before paying yourself, because the business has to make money, because the business has to run on advertising dollars, it has to pay for supplies, and it's a machine. It has to keep going. Big mistake. I think a lot of people make it, not everyone, but a lot of people make the mistake of giving discounts.
Yeah.
Have to learn that a discount, if you go to any big box store, you go anywhere and you go in and you say, hey, I need discount. You walk into a Lamborghini and you say, it's just too high, I can't afford it. Right. They're gonna say, oh well, sorry, can't help you.
Right.
Can't help you. So when you're looking at getting certain services and you're looking at getting certain products, it's good to just know what your margins are, set your prices where they need to be, and stick to it.
Yeah.
If you offer a discount, there are situations where you can offer a discount.
Sure.
Okay. If you feel, and if you're in a financial situation, okay, where you can give a discount to someone who's truly disabled, or someone who is in need,
sure,
someone that can't take care of their stuff, someone that's elderly, someone that is a veteran, then yes, give a discount. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong in that aspect. But just giving discounts and saying 20% off, 20% is a lot of money.
Yeah.
20%? If you already are running a 30% gross profit margin and you're giving away 20%, you got a 10% profit? I mean, you got to look at that. Plus, it's not just that. If you're going out and you're looking at a product or a service, when you look at a luxury service, like our services, it's tiered. So we have services for every different demographic.
Sure.
Every different income demographic, everyone's different needs, and we make it accessible. Financing makes it accessible to everyone, right? Barring, getting approved in terms and conditions.
Right.
But if you're looking at certain services and you're looking at a luxury service, you can expect to pay a luxury price.
Sure.
If you bought a expensive car and you have real leather in the inside and it needs to be clean, it needs to be conditioned, you can expect to pay that. Now, here's where it gets bad. If you give a discount to a client and to a customer, you're belittling in that client and that prospect's mind, your business and your brain. You might as well just say it's not worth that, because if you're able to discount that price that you discounted it to, if it was, to make it easy, $100 original and you discounted to 80, well, in the client's mind and in the prospect's mind and the market's mind, it's only worth $80. If you could discount it down to 80, it's only worth 80.
Right.
It's very, very hard to come up from that. And then on top of that, it opens you up to expecting it every time.
Sure.
So if you give a discount to one client, right, the next guy's going to want it.
Right. Word gets out.
Word gets out.
Yeah.
Word gets out. So you're going to be the business that gives discounts.
Yeah.
Now, in business, price is the price. But if you feel the need to give a discount, and if it's a loyal client, loyal customer, and they've been loyal, and they've proven loyalty, right?
Yeah.
Giving a discount on, let's say, the 10th, the 5th, the 6th job on the back end without them expecting it, then that's the way to give a discount.
Sure.
That's the way to give a discount, because then it's appreciated. And they may actually refuse it. If they're a good, loyal client, we actually run across it to where people actually refuse it. No, y'all did the work. It looks fantastic. It looks great. Couldn't go ahead and just pay me.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's when a discount should be applied. But otherwise, it can really diminish the value of a brand.
Beyond the materials you use and the techniques you use and things like that, can you tell us a little bit about just what you've learned over business and running a business in the time that you've done this? What advice would you give to someone who's young, who's looking to get started? Why you want to do the business? Is there a grander purpose?
Yes.
Like, what motivates you to want to build this business, beyond where it is?
Okay, so it's deep. So let's go real deep here. People may want to, they feel this burning in their soul or in their heart, this curiosity that they have of, man, maybe I should start something, but they don't know what.
Sure.
The thing that I would have to say is that from what I know for a fact, okay, God gives everyone talents, He gives everyone skills, and He gives everyone passions, okay, with that. Now, if you could figure out because everyone has a gift, and everyone's is unique,
Sure.
right? You may see this and say, hey, I can do that. Well, I tell people you can't, because it's something that some of the people that I've been blessed to be around, some of the great people, right? People who are very, very successful, people who work hard and who are in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Right? They say, man, you can go and you can use that as a goal, but your gifts are going to be different from, let's say, yours.
Sure.
I can't do what you do. I can't do what you do. I can't do, everyone has their certain gifts and talents. Figuring that out is number one. Number two is once you figure that out, you need to start doing market research. You need to find out, is your product or service marketable in your market? Is there a market for it? Is there demand for it? If there's no demand, then you need to go where there is a demand. And if you can't, then you need to reevaluate what you're thinking about doing in the first place anyway. Because you could throw money at something, you could throw it down a hole, just throw it at, you could throw it at Google ads, you could throw it at YouTube ads, you could throw it at Facebook ads, you could throw it at all the advertising that you want, but if you're in the wrong market and you're in the wrong area and you're marketing to the wrong people, you're not gonna get any traction.
Yeah.
And you could have the most awesome video, you could have the most awesome marketing material, you could have the best branding, you could have, if you're starting an auto detailing business and you're like, man, I'm gonna get the flashiest truck and the flashiest, that's great. But it's proof with this business, where it started from, it didn't matter. That doesn't matter. What people want to know is, what can you do?
Sure.
And so you got to figure that out. Next thing is, after doing market research, I would say is figure out and do research on what do you plan on offering? What is your processes? What is your methods? What is your workflows? What is your overhead going to be? What is your customer acquisition cost? That means, for people that don't know, how much does it cost to get each customer?
Right.
So if you're looking at, let's say, the average cost of a detail, and this is another problem, you're looking at auto detailing prices, and the average cost of a detail has not really increased in 10 years, in a decade, but yet the cost of products, overhead, everything else is going up. If you don't know what your cost is of all your overhead, then you can't really figure out prices. It doesn't matter what the guy down the street is charging, because he may have different overhead.
Sure.
So it all circles back to that. So that's the business side. The other thing that I would say is, above all else, keep God first in everything that you do.
Sure.
If you want something to happen, you need to sit, if you have to sit down and you have to pray. I pray every day. Guy who actually has a jet here, right?
Sure.
Fit guy, very good guy. Took care of his cars, and he was kidding around. And long story short, he said, "Hey, I got a plane." He said, "I'm gonna go fly." I said, "What do you ain't gonna go fly? Taking care of his stuff for years at his house, taking care of his stuff, right? Good to him." And he said, "What do you know about flying?" I said, "Well, I know how to fly." And he said, I told him, I said, I took a little bit of flight lessons, I took some.
Right.
And he said, "You ever thought about," he said, "Why didn't you tell me?" I said, "I didn't know." He said, "You ever thought about detailing aircraft?" I said, "I got a plane." Now me, I'm thinking, little plane, right?
Right.
He said, "I want you to go to the airport. I want you to go take a look at my plane." I'm like, okay. So I pull up, go in, open up the door, and it's a jet.
All right.
And I'm thinking, okay, this is big. I have no idea how to price it. So one of the guys that I was telling you about who helped me figure out the pricing on this, he actually grew up with a lot of people. He worked, say it like this, he worked for the New Orleans Pelicans. He's done a lot of different things. He grew up with Birdman and Slim and all those guys like from Cash Money.
Yeah.
And I went up to his house and I said, "Chuck," after I left the airport, I went to Chuck and I said, "Man, I don't know how much to charge." And he said, "How much would you think that needs to be charged? How long do you think it would take you?" I said, "Well," talked to him about it. And I said, "Man, that's a lot of money to ask for." And he asked me something. He said, "Red, you want to be broke? Or you want to have some money?" I said, "I want to have some money."
Yeah.
He said, "Well, then there's your answer." So that's one door that was open. But then something drove me. So got out of this area and built it over time and took trips across the Gulf Coast when I didn't really have the money to be just getting on the highway and just going.
Sure.
Took trips all across, all states, all over. And I was going to airports
Okay.
and telling them, "Hey, I'm looking at doing Aviation detail. No one ever heard of that thing, like aviation detail, detailing aircraft. What? We're talking about areas, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, all the way across. Going to all these airports and then doing a job, swinging back through. Hey, check out the job that we did. Bam, check this out. And then it just started building. So the reputation started building. Then they were like, we got a client. We need to take care of this. So that's how things built.
You've had so much success in this business. Where do you see yourself going in the next 5 years? Like, where are opportunities for growth? Are there new lines to get into that you haven't explored yet that you want to explore?
We have some things in the works right now. One of the biggest things that we're doing now is for qualified businesses and large organizations, for dealerships, for large companies, large logistics companies, charter companies, et cetera. We are offering training and licensing opportunities for those companies. So that means that they can license for a certain amount of time the processes, the methods. They have access to our IP, intellectual property and trade secrets, in order to implement it in their business. And it's not a franchise, but we offer the training, the tools. We basically give them the setup, and we also have royalty and also fee options.
And do you come to them and train them, or do they come to you and be trained?
We go to the location and we train them on site. So it varies in length and duration, and varies. So we offer training for each individual sector. So for instance, when it's metal polishing, if it's vintage trailers, then we offer training for vintage trailers. If it's big rigs and it's for dealerships, then we offer training for that. If it's aviation, then we offer for that. If it's automobiles, et cetera. So it's different tiers, different tiers and very, very specific things that we offer training on.
Interesting.
There is no way to train any one person on everything that this business is. And then on top of that, one of the main reasons why we wouldn't license everything all at once or franchise everything all at once is because someone that is just looking at doing auto detailing may not want to get into the liability of dealing with aircraft.
Sure.
They may not see that as a good enough payoff, especially for what they have going on.
Yeah.
They can give us a call, our phone number, and also on our website, they can give us a call or email us. Our email is listed hopefully in this video and also on our YouTube channel.
Sure.
So, and on our website. So they can give us a call. So there's a lot of opportunities, and we have services to fit pretty much every need that someone could possibly think of. We have it. So, yeah.
Nice, Rhett. Thank you. Congratulations on your success, and thanks for your time.
Absolutely. Nice to meet you.